Good morning, Steve Zelenardo here with Remax Experts, Zelenardo Associates. Just a real quick update on the market. Current inventory 20,250 units, so very similar to last week. We had a little bit of a rise midweek, but it's come down, stabilized at the low 20,000s. 650 sold units, so again, very similar to last week. We sold the property over the weekend, which is great. It's one of my personal listings. Hopefully that firms up. We have some time now to kind of figure that out. We have a 7-day condition, so hopefully that goes through. If that goes through, we've unloaded like 3 of the longest listings that I've ever held in my career. Kudos to our clients that kind of sticking with us, knowing that realistically we have no other option but to keep pushing, keep adjusting price, and keep remarketing the property until a buyer's willing to pay for it, due to the circumstances right now. Let's jump into some news. This one was interesting. I always mention real estate as 4 different types of uses. Either you can live in it, you can lease it, you can sell it, or you can burn it down. So this site took the latter. This is actually Highway 27 in Rutherford. There's a new site being built when you rise up the hill going west on Rutherford. So condo complex burnt down, like more of an upper scale complex here. I think it's about 30 houses that burnt down, which is quite crazy. This is the development here, like more of an upper scale type townhome community. Caliber Homes is the builder. Who knows who the arson was, if it was a builder, if this was maybe a homeowner that has to close. But we know that there's a ton of issues going forward regarding home ownership and taking possession of these new properties because they were bought at a different time. This is, again, I reiterate all the time, is that I hate buying new construction based on the time frame because you don't know where the market's going to be. If you get it on the up, where it's like you're buying these new construction, the market keeps increasing, you're smart. You beat the system because ultimately by the time you move, your new house is ready. It's up to $300,000. You sell your old house, very similar to what you paid this house at, and now you've upsized without actually putting any more debt. You're not carrying any more debt. So ultimately, that's a good way of doing it. Just when the market reverses, obviously it hurts even further because ultimately, if you have an asset you have to sell, that's depreciating in value. Then ultimately, the house that you bought, it's got a station price of whatever you paid for it. Then that's depreciating in value. And then you got to qualify for a mortgage. Now you have to come up with extra cash. You might have to go through some different type of financing that you never wanted to go through, like a BC or private. It brings up a whole lot of issues. And this is the second site in Vaughan being burnt down. This is, if you know about the late 80s, there was constant arson going on with builders and homeowners and stuff like that because it obviously buys them more time to kind of keep going forward, right? And also the insurance claims. So that's it. And then RioCan, obviously RioCan's a massive REIT portfolio where they build real estate and then they just lease it out. They hold the buildings and they lease out the space and then you buy into their stock. And I've done one of these. It's actually paying out now, which is great. Not through RioCan, it's through Greybrook Realty. So I just want to read a little bit here. So the article reads, like, high interest rates and rising costs have pushed RioCan Real Estate Investment Trust to put a halt to starting any major new construction project. So they're not going to be building anything further. They have, I believe, 1.5 million square feet that they're going to complete because that's already in the works right now under construction. So there's really realistically no point of stopping that because it'll be half-built properties. But anything else going forward, there won't be a shovel being put into the ground. What they're saying is what I'm trying to tell, forget about businesses, just trying to tell the public and clients, friends and family that this is the best way to figure things out right now is, and again, this is RioCan's words, given the high interest rates and the variable debt that comes with a lot of construction financing, he said it makes more sense to pay down debt, which stands at their debts of $7.3 billion. So that's what I'm saying. Even with just clients, friends, and family members, like, what should we be doing during this period? You should be killing debt. If that's why we're building. We've created that segment with Mike, this for that, where it's like you can sell a house, let's say in New Kleinburg, for example, sell that out. Still now you get decent money, and you can move to a different community and kind of squash debt, $100,000-$300,000. I think that's the whole point of that. Right now is all about survival. If you can make it out of this, what we're going to see next year, because we think 2024 is going to be the reckoning. Clearly, 23 it went up quite aggressive in sales, and ultimately we're starting to see this tail down right now, where it's like people are starting to feel the pinch, the squeeze, and also don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's where we're starting to see these properties come up. on the market and being sold for a lot less than what they're currently worth. Uh, we there was a realtor that kind of posted one of those Insta stories, and it was quite interesting because they went through all the Facebook assignment sales. I guess I don't go into Facebook, but there's a group on Facebook that they put all like realtors and people put their assignment sales on there, and you can kind of go through it if you want to buy something that's off market or that's going to be assigned rather than the purchase through the builder. But there's so many buyers walking away from huge amounts of deposits. We're talking, let's say, a house that they paid, I don't know, 2.1 million. They're literally walking away with $300,000 in deposits. They're just going to walk away. So they're selling basically. They'll give you that property for like 1.8 million plus a $300,000 deposit that's being held. So I mean, again, if you're looking for a property, you're forced to buy something, that might be a good option because people are bleeding out. And these are all spec houses, people that bought properties on speculation, and this is obviously in a good time. These guys made a lot of money. This is the bad time. This is the market that I always fear. This is why I never get involved with specs, because where you get burnt, you really get burnt. But I will run with it the next time it comes out, just based on all the knowledge that we've gathered from 2017 into now. I feel more confident to kind of stepping into this. When we start to see that rise, we're going to jump in, going to ride it, and then cash out, keep cashing out as we're coming, and make sure we're not over leveraged by the end point of something like this is currently happening right now. I just cash all out, sit tight, take a vacation, and just that's it, and then start buying again. So that's the whole point of this. This is not the only builder. We're in touch with a big builder in Toronto, and we sell some of their new stuff once in a while. Some of the stuff that they've kind of moved on from. There's a few spec houses that need to be sold, so we'll sell those for them. But they're basically launching new sites, so they'll have like the pavilion on site, they'll do the launch, they'll do the marketing like they usually do. And then no sales contracts come in. So what's happening is they're just unplugging these sites, and they've unplugged 6 or 7 sites already. So I don't know. So it again, that's just one builder that we know personally that's doing that. There's other builders obviously are not putting shovels in the ground. It just doesn't make sense. So what this is all going to happen is with heavy immigration, we're going to have a huge or like more of a lack of housing for future too. So we're going to have a shortage of houses even more than what we have. And again, this is all government policy. We can point fingers at who's what and what's where. It's government policy that's led us down this road, that's screwed everything. During COVID, the way they shut down all the businesses, the way they adjusted those interest rates, and again, that's not just Canada, it's the U.S. too. They shortened down all those interest rates down to 0%, quarter point, whatever it was, giving out cheap money. People went out, spent a shitload of money, put a lot of strain on what we had for housing at that time, created a fear of missing out, like that FOMO for buyers, and then they just start jacking rates like no one's business, not with no care in the world, knowing that a lot of, let's say, families that took advantage of these lower rates, got into houses more of necessity, have to deal with this problem that now is in their plate, where they can potentially lose everything they've ever worked for, taking them back 20 years rather than bringing them forward 20 years. So, yeah, just the thought of the day, guys. Have a great day. Ciao.